From the digital world to your world, it's the Kevin Gill Show. Your PMA Power Hour. What up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the Kevin Gill Show, your PMA Power Hour. The Kevin Gill Show is a place where we talk to people who are positive, people who are mental, and people who have attitude. You'll get to know some of your favorite people from the worlds of music, video games, and pro wrestling a little bit better. And you'll also get introduced to some new people you should know. You might say, what is PMA? PMA is positive mental attitude. Google it. It's a simply practiced yet incredibly powerful thing that seems to be like GPS for destiny. What up, though, family? It's your boy KG back with episode 70 of the Kevin Gill Show, your PMA Power Hour. Wouldn't be where I am today, wouldn't have all these episodes under my belt without the support of you and without the support of all my great guests. I invite you to please support our guests and please support the Kevin Gill Show. Write a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Pick up some merch at Dignified Bastard or ProWrestlingTees.com. It's so easy. Coming off last week's episode with Underground Wrestling sensation and Juggalo Championship Wrestling superstar Madman Pondo. That was a fun interview. I invite you to check out. He is a Juggalo Championship Wrestling Hall of Famer, and we have Too Tough Tony sitting in on the interview. If it's your first time joining the Kevin Gill Show this week to hear Mars, I recommend you check out past episodes with Violent J, Mad Child, Kung Fu Vampire, the Axe Murder Boys. I could go on and on. KevinGillShow.com is the place that has all 70 episodes for instant stream or download. One thing I'm pretty excited about, District 9. They're a New York hardcore band that contributes the instrumental version of their music is what contributes to the opening theme music of the Kevin Gill Show. And they're a band I worked with back in the 90s and beyond, and I was very proud to put out their new record just the other year. And now I'm happy to say that the District 9 vinyl is sold the fuck out at dignifiedbastard.com. It's sold out. All that remains are a few of the hand-numbered collector's editions, which come with a limited edition bandana, limited edition stickers, pins. It comes with a CD. It comes with, and again, that blood-splattered vinyl, hand-numbered. Yeah, just very proud of that accomplishment. And then we got that Vision of Disorder, New York hardcore out of Long Island, man. And they changed the game in 95 with their groundbreaking style of singing, screaming, all that coming together with metallic hardcore. And it's an honor to reissue that 20th anniversary edition of it. You know, it's out now at dignifiedbastard.com and Revelation Records and things like that. But support the underground. Your boy KG still hustling, still putting out underground slabs of wax for that ass. And I'd appreciate it if you guys stop by and supported dignifiedbastard.com. There's also cool stuff on there from the Headlock graphic novel, other records I've put out like Six and Violence, the District 9 complete discography, KG Show shirts, stickers, pins, on and on. Even stuff from the backyard wrestling era of video games, some rare collectibles, and etc. Even Bloody Mania 8, the new JCW DVD featuring your boy KG on commentary, along with my friend Shaggy Too Dope and Commissioner Violent J. Check it all out at dignifiedbastard.com. But the point of it was, very happy to have sold out the District 9 vinyl. Thanks to everyone that supported. And it's funny. It's all about people's support, man. It's one listener at a time. It's one record at a time. You know, when you're sitting looking at a giant stack of records and then slowly, one at a time, they just all go out. You know, it's a cool thing to know that those records started out as an idea. They turned into a physical object, and now they are enjoying life on turntable rotation in homes around the world. So, as always, that's my sincere shout out to you, to West Ghost, to Alice Radley, to Pro Wrestling Tees, to everybody that supports the Kevin Gill Show, to MVP, to Snoring Elbow, to you Dis or Hugs Dis. I still am unclear how to say it. He's from McHenry, Illinois. To the Reno Wrestle Factory, who support the Kevin Gill Show, to our friends at All Pro Wrestling and Gold Rush Pro Wrestling, Juggalo Championship Wrestling. The list goes on and on. I don't know why. I just feel like shooting from the cuff today. I feel like talking from the heart and thanking the people that helped make the show happen. Jamie Welton and the crew over in the UK. Everybody that supports Patreon.com/Kevin Gill Show. And that's it, man. If you want to advertise on the Kevin Gill Show, hit up KevinGillShow@gmail.com, subject advertising. If you want to book KG, hit up the same email address, KevinGillShow@gmail.com. Subject booking, and book your boy KG for voiceover, hosting, commentary, consulting. You name it, I do it. Holler at your boy. Of course, social media is the way. It's an easy way to spread the word about the show. It's an easy way to interact with me, your boy, KG, at OG Kevin Gill on Twitter, at Kevin Gill Show. Follow us, huh? And give us some likes on Facebook, all that gaga. Share our stuff, man. It's so easy. And like we said, one listener at a time, boom. You share the shit, suddenly someone else is listening to Mars. Someone else is listening to MVP. Someone else is listening to Violent J. You know what I mean? So, again, I conclude. On that grind, making a new episode every week for your listening pleasure. As we record this now, I should be packing for New York, but instead I am getting this episode out first, and then I'm going to pack. That's how it's going to go down. I'm going to be in New York for a few days. I'm hoping to catch a few interviews while I'm there. I'll leave it at that, and then I'll have news of these interviews once they are completed. But I'm also going to get to check out Rancid. Rancid is going down. 2 nights in New York City, presented by Rocks Off, which is the premier DIY, underground, self-made, dues paid, all that. The quintessential rock and roll promoters, music promoters in New York City. Rocksoff.com is where you should check out for more concert listings, or come check out Rancid, H2O, and the Interrupters for 2 nights. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be good to see some old friends and see some great music, recharge my soul, if you will. And speaking of soul, we get to peer a little bit, glimpse a little bit into the soul of this week's guest, Mars. Mars is a Bay Area icon and a nationally, internationally recognized player on the horrorcore scene. In the time I've known him, he's was rolling out the Kevin Gill Show before the Kevin Gill Show was even out. Mars was someone who was stepping up to help me get to where I wanted to be, and his unending contribution to the Kevin Gill Show is that iconic Kevin Gill Show flyer that you see every week. The design and layout of that was done by Mars, and now it's our template, you know what I mean? So he laid out the first 20 or so, but then he had to move on to other much more pressing matters, you know what I'm saying? But he always looked out for the Kevin Gill Show, and I appreciated that because he was a guy that had more than enough stuff on his own plate. And there's already hundreds of people I know that aren't doing anything to help. And here's this guy, Mars, stepping up. So I never forgot his contributions via Global Grind Graphics, a great company you should support and check out. But I've always wanted to have Mars on the show, and it's always been just a matter of the right time, the right moment, et cetera, et cetera. And now that Mars has come out of his hiatus, so to speak, he took a step back to reset himself, which is, I think, a vastly underrated move. You know, a lot of people don't realize sometimes when you're just running the grind, constantly recording, touring, doing shows, living inside that world in perpetuity, it can become a lot, man. And sometimes if you want to better yourself, if you want to improve yourself, sometimes it's okay to take a step back from the grind of it, the speed of it, you know what I mean? And focus on yourself, rebuild, re-strengthen, do what you need to do, and then come back to the game, reset, refreshed, recharge, like a new season of TV, like a new season of Wrestling with Depression, coming soon from Marty DeRosa. But I digress. So we caught up with Mars right here in San Francisco, outdoor interview done at the park. And you'll hear some ambient people calling for their dogs and people asking us if our dogs are loose. And it's like, we have no dogs. We are each other's dogs. We are conducting an interview. Please move on. But that's how it went down. You know what I mean? And we got to talk about where he's at, where he's going, where he's been. I think it's an interesting talk. I hope it's one that you will enjoy. And I'll say it like this. Without further ado, let's throw it on over to the interview with Mars. Going to pop open this highball energy seltzer here and get it going like this. Today's guest is an infamous and controversial MC from the Wicked Underground. He's also an insanely talented graphic designer, DIY, self-made, and OG with over 15 years of spitting on the mic. But he's also he's an interesting cat. He's a father. He's many things. Please welcome to the Kevin Gill Show from the Bay Area itself, Mars.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Just getting back into the swing of things. Pretty excited about the rest of this year.
Now, it's been you've someone who's been aware and helped out with the Kevin Gill Show from the earliest of days, from before there was even an episode 1 with Andrew WK. There was your company, Global Grind Graphics, came up with the devastating flyer template that, as you know, was still a hallmark of the show, a signature of the show. that now our homies West Coast Design, they lay it out for us every week, but it's still using that iconic template that you did. So I wanted to acknowledge to everyone listening and all that, as we're now, over 70 episodes or whatever in the game. It's cool that this is how long some interviews percolate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that I appreciate your being there to help and support, because like I told you at the time, we all know a million people and everyone's like, oh yeah, I know this person and I know that person. But how many people step up and want to be involved or help contribute to one of their friends doing something and actively contribute something that doesn't involve them necessarily getting mic time until, like, here we are almost, episode 70 or whatever.
Has it been 70 episodes already?
I mean, sometimes these come out, they don't always come out right when I record them. But, like, as we're sitting here recording this today, it's 68 out.
Nice.
And this will probably be 69 or 70.
Yeah, man. Just graphics, everything, man. I feel as an artist and as an independent artist, you got to have your hands in everything to, some people do this as a hobby. I never try to do it as a hobby. I try to make a living off of it. So, like, I had to learn how to do graphics. I had to learn how to do photos. I had to learn how to do videos and record myself and do my own my publicity. Just everything had to been in my own hands. So, like, when a homie has a company that comes out, I always be like, hey, I do graphics, I do videos, I do this. Like, you start with the people and they tell your friends, and you get money in different channels, like, all the time. It's the best just to be able to control your own stuff, you know what I mean?
And that's to me like the cornerstone of DIY. Like when I used to have a record label back in the day in New York called Striving for Togetherness Records, and now we reissue a lot of that stuff on dignifiedbastard.com. But it was the same thing. I didn't know like how to position a brand. I didn't know how to get the word out on something. I didn't know any of these things. But when you realize, well, shit, I have to. So you figure it out. You figure out how to get bands booked at better places. You figure out how to like rock the freshest shirt designs, or how to make stuff mean something, and how to make it connect with people and resonate. And you kind of then build this whole arsenal of real life skills that you can use for anything. You know what I mean?
I found out you just have to make people take notice, whether it's with your talent, with just being sneaky and getting in the right places to talk to people that could make it happen for you, or just be cool and be friends with people. Or it's just, I had to learn a lot of different things, and one of them is just being accessible. A lot of people just don't put themselves out there to get what they need done, or ask for things. People are afraid to ask people for shit. You know what I mean? That's crazy for me.
Yeah, I guess the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Exactly.
Now let's talk about your background, though. I touched on your Bay Area roots in the intro, but you are been representing the Bay Area for years on this hip hop shit, this wicked shit, this horrorcore shit. Call it what you will, but give us a little the background, the early days, man, of where you came up and what life was like for you then.
Man, I grew up in Pittsburgh, California. I was born in Antioch, California. You know what I'm saying? Like, my best friend started rapping. His brother was a producer, so he would do everybody's music around the neighborhood. He would make their beats, he would record them, he'd mix their stuff. And then, like, back then, we were skater kids. Like, we didn't care about music. We didn't even care about girls. We were just skating all the time. And then there'd always be these dudes at this house, like, all the black dudes from the neighborhood would be there. And they would be learning how to make their music and write and stuff. And this dude would always do their stuff. And his brother was in the next room. It's J-Riz, by the way. And one day, J-Riz called me up. He's like, hey, man, check this out. And he played some songs over the phone. It was him rapping. And it was rapping like, this was before Eminem. And everybody was rapping crazy. And he was rapping about the most ridiculous shit. And, like, we grew up listening to, like, Andre Nicotina and Brother Lynch, X-Rated, ICP, even Eminem's early days, you know what I mean? Like that was the stuff that we liked because we had a weird sense of humor. So when he was playing me this stuff, I was like, damn, this shit's tight. I wanted to do it.
Right.
So I got into it, and I took it serious, and it was a hobby for most of our friends, and we all kind of did it together. And then once we started getting more serious with it, we almost got a buzz right away because we actually got in a fight with Eminem here in San Francisco.
Now, how does that happen? You're a fan of Eminem at the time, or were a fan of him, and then you're at a show at the Fillmore, and then what goes down?
We were there to see him because we were like we were bumping his Slim Shady EP, which was like the best one he's ever put out. I think it was his best shit. Was Raw. It was back when he was opening up for House of Crazies and stuff like that. And we just took a bunch of mushrooms and smoked a lot of weed and somebody came up with the idea, because we were like 9-10 people,
Sure.
to like jump on stage and beat his ass for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I was there to see him. I was just happy to be there.
Right.
And then the next
But then
thing you know,
your mind went into a weird place.
I was just there, you know, and then like somebody, I think it was Jay Riz, was yelling at him from the stage and pissed him off, and he jumped off the stage in the middle of all of us, and it was just like pandemonium after that. Like,
wow.
Like, it was like fists were flying. People were fighting that weren't even involved, and they were both wearing white shirts. I think I kicked the shit out of him and Eminem at the same time, because it just looked like two seagulls fighting, you know, like
right.
like I didn't know who was what, but I know we ended up putting him back up on the stage, and he had a cut on his face. And this is about the time that my mushrooms kicked in. And I look on the stage, and George Clinton was there going, "Keep the peace." And I swear, like, when you're on mushrooms, seeing George Clinton on stage saying "keep the peace," there was like an orange glow around him. It was like kind of seeing Jerry Garcia.
Sure.
And I was like, "Oh my God, that's fucking I thought I was tripping, but it was just really there, you know. And I thought that was pretty tight. But then after that, we ended up meeting him in Proof, because his tour manager came and got us, and he was worried about some weird lawsuit. Like, we didn't give a shit, you know.
Right.
We fought all the time, so like they came and got us, and then Eminem came out and like gave us like a thug hug and talked to us for a little bit, and Proof came out and talked to us, and I forget, like, we were just juiced after that. I don't know why. I mean, we just met Eminem. We didn't know how big he was going to get, you know.
Right.
But we were on like Davey D's hip hop blog. The newspaper covered it, and they were talking to like, this is how our name was first gotten to print, is because Mad Insanity Records got into a fight with Eminem, and like it kind of gave us a buzz. Like at least I sucked back then, you know what I mean? But like the buzz started, and that was like the most important part.
Getting your name in print.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's an interesting way that Eminem handled that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists, you know, and a lot of bands, stuff happens, or there's unruly audience members, and sometimes, you know, shit goes down for the right, for the wrong, whatever. But I don't know if I've ever heard of it handled that way. That's kind of interesting.
I'm not sure, because I think a lot of innocent people got hit then, and I don't know if they were aware that we were the guys that started the whole thing.
Right, or we were just
there. I think one of the big dudes we were with got pretty roughed up by one of his security guards or something like that, and he was bleeding and stuff like that. And I think they're just tripping like, oh shit, let's make this better.
Right, let's just squat. And plus, you know how it is. Eminem's an artist. He's going to come back to the city. The Fillmores, everybody.
Yeah.
Better to have peace, as George Clinton asked for.
Yeah.
Than to have strife.
You've been to the Fillmore before, right?
Oh yeah, many times.
So you know the chandeliers that are way up there. I don't know how, but those chandeliers were swinging, and you can't touch them from the ground.
Right.
You can't even touch them from the balcony.
No, you can't.
They were swinging. That's how, like, we got this place. If you watch the Eminem AKA documentary, right when the credits come on, his security guard that was in the fight talked about it. And like I didn't know this until like last year.
Oh wow!
And somebody pointed it out, and they were talking about the fight. And I guess we had the whole crowd against him at one point, and then he came back out. He wasn't going to come out because he had a big cut on his face, and when he came back out, he did "I Just Don't Give a Fuck," and the whole crowd went crazy again.
Wow.
Pretty epic moment in life. And his tour manager gave us all "Hi, my name is Slim Shady" T-shirts.
Wow, they went to. It's like recently at a WWE show they did a thing where Brock Lesnar tore the door off a car, you know, like they had a car set up for this. But then in kind of an unplanned moment, or perhaps not knowing his own strength, he threw the car door like a discus, and he threw it into the audience, you know what I mean? So someone in the front row got hit with a car door, you know what I mean? But then they're, you know, with the quickness, you know what I'm saying, shirts and gimmicks and come backstage to, you know what I'm saying?
Please don't sue us.
Yeah, for sure. And that's such a crazy thing, too. There's so many lawsuits, you know, the guys from Fishbone, the guys from Fishbone are involved in a lawsuit now where some, you know, people in the audience are suing bands who are playing, or, you know, it's a whole slippery slope now. But maybe Eminem was a little ahead of the curve on wanting to avoid that litigation.
I remember we went to like Escape from New York Pizza afterwards, and I remember making a comment like, "We whipped Eminem's ass, and all we got was these lousy T-shirts."
That's the shit. And for the listeners at home, you may hear some ambient noise, like a lady talking about her dog losing a ball. Mars and I are sitting outside here at the park in San Francisco. It is a beautiful day, but sometimes people wander into the shot, so to speak. So I like to just paint a picture as the breeze blows skulkily across the grass.
I'm hoping for a weird homeless man to come sit with us. Get him
There's
involved.
like a little nook on the other side of the park I can show you where there's pretty much always that seems to be their spot. The park's like high school, you know what I mean? It's all broken into the different categories. So now so it's funny that controversy came to you that early in your career, but then controversy is something that stayed with you, it seems like, because it seems that out of all the artists in the world or whatever, it seems like you have a lot of controversy tied to you, and things tied to you or associated with you, or things that people who liked your music might have gone on to do. It's like, I know it's a controversial topic, but like, what's your take on all that?
I mean, my thing is, like I said before, like, before I actually had a publicist, I actually had to do all my publicity. So I remember when the whole Jeff Weiss thing happened, which is the kid from Red Lake, Minnesota, from the reservation, when he killed his grandma and her grandpa and then shot up his school and killed himself. I remember hearing about it and knowing that kid had just posted on my website. So I'm like, okay. And I contacted the news because, shitty situation, yes. Is it a foul a little bit that I used it to get out there? Maybe. But I got out there, and it worked. And I got to talk about it because they were blaming all kinds of stuff. They were blaming his music. They were blaming, they said he was like a Nazi, but he was like an American Indian, so that didn't really make any sense anyways.
Right.
So, like, when they mentioned his music, I found the opportunity to discuss the music. Not really about myself, but about the whole genre, because like he was just not just a fan of mine; he was a fan of Prozacs and a bunch of people.
Sure.
So I was able to kind of put a spotlight on the genre, and like people say, "Oh, you're bringing bad light to the whole community," but like listen to what we rap about. Like we rap about all the same things, anyways. Like we can't look worse than our lyrics, anyway. So I didn't really care. So I was able to get on the news and talk about it, which actually made more news people hit me up.
Sure.
And it became less of a thing about what he did and more interest in the genre because it made for a better story. People don't really know about this unless you know about it.
And and for the news too, think of how the news cycle works. You know what I mean? They have this terrible tragedy that happens. They cover that for a few days. They need something new to cover. They need new facets, and then it becomes, oh, well, look at this rapper Mars. Then it's like, look at this horrifying world we've discovered. We'll take you inside it tonight at 6.
Yeah.
Learn about the horrifying secrets of the horrorcore rap guild, And
I think it's so weird is that people don't realize that the news is just entertainment for people. Like, it's information, but people watch it to be entertained. They want to know what's going on. Kind of like if you listen to the radio and there's Dr. Laura Lessinger or whatever her name is, like, she ain't giving you no news. It's just entertainment. It's something to listen to while you pass the time, or there ain't nothing on TV, you watch the news. So they get the most interesting and most entertaining stories, period. So there was that one, and then there was a kid who had a bunch of my lyrics and like printed out album covers and stuff like that in his backpack, and people thought that the lyrics that he had written down were stuff that he wrote himself, and they took it as like a threat to a school shooting or something like that, and they tripped out on him. And then I ended up finding out about that because he posted on my message board, and I contacted his news and talked about the genre and talked about my lyrics and stuff like that. And then this kid was like a good kid who just listened to crazy music.
And a lot of people, the Kevin Gill Show covers across a spectrum. There's a ton of wrestling stuff on here, but we have, voices from the underground, whether it's punk rock music, hardcore music, horrorcore, juggalos. It's all misconstrued by the public, but to the people that the music connects with, it's like it's not what the outside world thinks. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Like, with all the stuff, there's the whole Psycho Sam thing, and, that guy was a fan, and people are like, oh, he's making it all about himself. But, like, really, it's like there's nobody who would step up and defend the music anyways.
Sure.
So I stood up and actually bring more attention. There's a lot of people out there who don't know that horrorcore exists.
Sure.
So if you put it on mainstream TV or the news or regional or whatever, there's people who may not know about it, and they're trying to make you look bad.
Of course, right? Their intention is to get something, but in the spin and in how good you are on the microphone, you could still end up enlightening and making fans from it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like people will be like, like there'll be some old guy and be like, "Oh, what the hell is this shit?" You know,
rapping about the goddamn devil makes me sick.
Yeah, goddamn. And then some kid is like, "Whoa, I want to hear what the fuck he's talking about."
Dude, have you heard about this new music? It's so bad, it's on the news.
Yeah, like people are killing each other over it. I gotta hear it. That's how I became a fan of X-Rated. You know what I mean? Like he killed somebody and he's rapping over the phone from prison. I gotta get that tape.
Right? Is there anyone more raw than that dude? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like so they're making fans. And, and it's weird too. You get these news anchors that they'll talk all this shit to you and like ask you all these interviews, but when the mic's cut and the broadcast's off, they're like, "Thank you so much for this." They want to go have a beer or whatever,
right? And
we're just like friends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But they play their little part. They make their little faces of surprise. And
yeah, it's so silly. People don't realize that it's advertising. It's viewers. They want people to watch this shit. And I think when the whole Psycho Sam thing went on, I was on tour in Hollywood. I was with Kung Fu Vampire. I was at a Hollywood date, and I think we were going to leave the city, and we were just having chicken and waffles or something like that.
as you are quite prolific in your love of chicken and waffles on social media.
Of course, yeah, I got to hit that up.
I associate that with you for some because you always
Oh yeah, when we're in Oakland, just meet me at Chicken and Waffles. So I'll be there. But I think I was in the shower, and I was doing an interview with soap in my hair. I had to turn the water off and do it real quick over the phone. And then I did another one, because this is when I did have a publicist, and they were just hitting me with all these interviews and stuff like that. And then I went to Chicken and Waffles, dropped a piece of chicken on my shirt, and there's syrup dripped down the front of my white T-shirt. And then I get a call, and they're like, "We need you to be in Studio City for a Bay Area broadcast, but you're going to do it live via satellite." Nice. And I was like, I got fucking syrup all over my shirt right now.
I'm at the chicken spot, Roscoe's.
Yeah, and they're like, "You're 10 minutes away, man." So I had to like put on somebody else's T-shirt and go do it, and I had a split second to make the decision of should I wear the mask or should I just do it normal.
Right.
I went in the bathroom, put on the mask, went on there, they mic'd me up, went live, and because I did that, they got more viewers because it wasn't like Halloween or something like that.
Right.
People were just like, "What the fuck is on his face? What is he doing?" That it was so big of a I don't know about ratings or whatever it is, but the viewers.
But think about it, yeah. And when they go to every time you go to a commercial break, you're basically opening the door to losing viewers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when they have that little bumper, like "and next,"
and because I did that interview, they made me come back out here, I think, and you were there at the Warfield. At the Warfield, yeah, and they shined a light on everybody. I got
and that was there. It was aired here. Was it Crom 4?
No, I did Crom 4 here too, but that was CBS Channel 5 KPIX or something like that.
So the local network affiliate here. I was on that tour with ICP, and Mars opened that show at the legendary Warfield, and the news came down and came in with the intention of doing the typical negative, these bad juggalos, gang members, whatever are here. And then they came out of it like, wow, there's like a really cool thing going on here. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody, but they put it over. And that was all because the media was there because of you. Like they were there to interview you.
And I think it put such a... It was like you said, it was supposed to be a negative thing, but they put so much like, these kids are out here having fun. You know what I mean? Like it's... theatrics, it's and then like I made the silly little joke on there and all that shit, and like it was just like a fun article, and people got to see what it was almost really what it was about. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, there was video cameras or news crew inside the Warfield, filming little clips of the show, and you talk about Kung Fu Vampire and Mad Insanity Records. Kung Fu Vampire is a past guest of the Kevin Gill Show. You could peep him in that in-depth back catalog, which also includes interviews with Axe Murder Boys, Violent J, Mad Child. I could go on, but you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to give Kung Fu some love. Oh, and Kung Fu's homie, Ralphie May, comedian extraordinaire, a hilarious man, a man who knows a lot about wrestling and everything else. Ralphie May's another episode that ninjas need to listen to, Mars.
I was just out there in San Jose, and I seen his bus. I was with him, actually, and I called Kung Fu up, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm in your city. Like, we want to go to some clubs and stuff. Come out." And he's like, "I'm with my daughter right now, but here's a whole list of clubs." And we were going to go stop and see Ralphie May, but I ended up getting blackout drunk and going to jail that night.
Wow.
So that was way more fun.
Yeah. Well, at least you avoided having to pay those ridiculous prices for snacks at the comedy club. You know what I mean? A couple of drinks and a couple of snacks at the comedy club. You're like $100 lighter.
I saved myself
easy.
$90 and a hotel room.
Oh my goodness! And then just touching on them too. We touched on Insane Clown Posse there. Insane Clown Posse have been a huge inspiration to me. Friends of mine, people, collaborators, people I got to work with, people I look up to. All of these great adjectives. What were your thoughts as a kid? Growing up in California and getting exposed to ICP and stuff. And what kind of part did they play in your formulative years?
I remember it was about the time where, like I said, Eminem was out, and we were listening to all this crazy music. And ICP came to San Francisco for the first time at Maritime Hall, and there was 25 people here. This is their first big tour, and it goes from seeing them grow to from that to selling out the Warfield that night. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Is amazing. I've always thought, obviously they've inspired me to have theatrics in my music and the look, and I've always had a weird sense of humor, so they've always made me laugh, and it was always entertaining to listen to them. And I grew up listening to all these people that I listed, but I ended up either meeting or becoming friends with them, and I think ICP had a lot to do with my buzz. They put me on probably before anybody. So And
in what way was that? With touring or with spots on records or?
Well, I think I found out that they were doing this. I keep in touch with everybody, so there was this word in the underground that they were looking for artists in the underground to put on this compilation.
Well, tunnel runners.
And I knew Q Stranger got hit up and Low Key got hit up, and I was like, "What the fuck, man!" And so I had their number, so I called Nathan Extra, who was working at the thing, and He was in charge. It was his project too, and I was like, "So am I going to be on this thing or what, man?" And he's just like, "How'd you hear about it?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I need to get on there."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, here's what you do: submit a song. It needs to be like this. It needs to be professionally recorded." So I went out here to San Francisco and I got my favorite producer on it. And I knew ICP were big fans of the Loonies and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I went and got the dude Mike Marshall, who sung "I Got 5 on It" to do the hook, and I spent some money out here. You know what I mean? And I went to the hood and recorded it, and got some gangster ass producers to do a horrorcore song, and they had fun with it. And I gave it to them, and Nathan Extra was like, "Hey man, you're not supposed to have another person on your song. Who the fuck is this guy that you have on there?" I was like, "Have you heard the song?" He goes, "I got 5 on it," and he's like, "No," and I was like,
"Well, yeah, because it's Nathan Extra."
And I was, yeah, and I was like, "Okay," and I'm thinking it's Nathan. I was like, "Have you heard the song? Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day," and he's like, "The Timex Social Club?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh yeah, well that's fucking awesome." So
let's see. There you go. Yeah, he has a different music specialty.
Yeah, and then Joe heard it, or Violent J heard it, and he really, really liked it, but I didn't know, and I seen it before the Gathering infomercial came out. He kind of gave me major props on there, and then he played it on his Witching Hour show.
Nice.
And then I was at the Gathering, and he comes up to me and goes, "You're Mars, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's just like, "I love what you do with your voice." And I was like, well, thank God, because there's either people that really fucking hate it, or there's people that really like it, and he was one of the people that really liked it. And he passed me a joint. We smoked it back and forth. And he's like, "What do you think about touring with us?" And I was like, "Yeah."
What do I think about it?
Let's fucking do that, And then I get a call the week after the Gathering. They're like, "What are you doing in October?" And I was like, "You tell me." And they're like, "Just keep October open." And I knew Hallowicked tour was coming up, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" My first big major tour is going to be the Hallowicked tour. Sick. And then it wasn't Hallowicked tour. It was Hallowicked tour, and it was the Shock Therapy tour, was a psychopathic tour with everybody on it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I actually had to tour with the whole label, and then Boondocks got sick, and they put me on in his place for Hallowicked, so I did both tours at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And got to kick it with the guys, play basketball backstage with everybody in face paint, the mask.
Was that the Norva?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Were you there?
To me, that building is legendary because I have been there, and I did play basketball there. I just love that it's the most, to the fans, it's the most state-of-the-art venue in terms of, I've never seen a venue in this country that had that kind of amenities backstage, or in other words, whatever it was built to be originally.
They want you to come and play there again.
Right. Is that, because why don't they have a basketball court? They have all kinds of
tables and all kinds of stuff.
Plush, not the usual, something that looks like out of Backstage Sluts Volume 8 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what
it's just not some basement with writing all over the wall.
Thank you. The couch doesn't have herpes.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had to fall asleep on many of those kinds of couches before. But yeah, I just went out there. Everybody in face paint, playing basketball. Verizon Wireless Center. We played basketball.
Yeah,
back there.
it was Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, yeah, and just sold out. And like just going out there for the first time and seeing this thousands and thousands of people there, and just been like, holy shit. And this is like, I've done little tours here and there, but like this was my first real, where there's sound guys and there's tour managers and
it's all right. There's an exact schedule.
A lot of people don't know that ICP, they basically get Thanksgiving every fucking day backstage with the what do you call it, the caterers and stuff like that. So I'm eating a big meal, like you're on a 2 minutes, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna throw up now. And just having to play for so many people, I had to get good quick. I had to say, I need more sound out of you. I need you to do this, hold the mic this way, and I had to get really good. And just people knew who I was because my song was one of the most popular songs on the project. And,
right, on Tunnel Runners.
And
which is available on hatchetgear.com.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think it hit Billboard charts. And I ended up doing press for it. A lot of people didn't use it to catapult what they were doing, but I took it and ran with it. So
that's what it's all about, brothers. Yeah, to me, that's what everything's about. It's all momentum, and I'm sometimes guilty of not following up on my own stuff as much as I should. But yeah, just having, in other words, anything you have, and this transcends music, wrestling, graphic design, photography, whatever it is you do. Once you have something that even for a moment distinguishes you from the other 900,000 people that are trying to do what you're doing, so to speak, you're instantly like, all right, who do we got? Oh, you heard this dude? He's on the new ICP complex. Oh, yeah, him, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, to those that don't know, it's kind of like an instant validation. It's a jump off. You know what I mean? You got that, and now it's like pinball. Bounce it up, and keep going,
I think it allowed for me to, like, ICP pretty much put me in their spotlight when they didn't have to,
Right. Amen, brother. Me too.
And I think because of that, it helped catapult a lot of my career, or at least set a fire underneath my ass where I got up and went.
And you got to taste it because think about it. At this point, you're doing shows in your area. You're recording stuff. But me too. It was a big. I was with ICP at one of those Verizon wireless deals in Indiana. And to me, I'm like, wow, I'm at a Shoreline Amphitheater venue. You know what I mean? Like this, like it's just a trip. Or to be at Red Rocks Amphitheater, being at Red Rocks Amphitheater and eating that catering and seeing that whole thing, I'm like, this is what I aspire to. Like, I want to somehow get to a level that everything I do is at a venue like this. You know what I'm saying?
Like it just showed me. A lot of people also don't realize that there's money in this stuff. Like they don't understand that, like, people are happy taking $500 a show or $300 a show in the underground, but people don't realize that there's so much. People are making a lot of money doing music, and it shows you, like, these guys came on $1 million tour buses with a staff of like 5 people making dinner every night, and they have light guys that climb up these things, and like they're selling out these venues. Like, this is what everybody in our genre should be trying to get to, this level.
Absolutely.
And I think people underestimate either themselves or their grind, but these guys came from nothing.
Literally, right.
And they're doing the same thing as what we're doing, but they never stopped working.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think once you get lazy, you're losing a piece of what you could get.
I was talking to Jump Steady the other day on the Juggalo show, and a big way to summarize, like, the success of Psychopathic Records and Insane Clown Posse, he just kept repeating one phrase, like, there is no plan B. You know what I mean? Exactly. There is no plan B, because it's just, in other words, we're 2 high school dropouts, whatever, from Detroit, and we have a couple of our homies with us, and we're gonna change the game. That's what ICP's saying as kids, and there was no plan B, and they did it, and they're still fucking doing it. You know what I mean?
I think since 2005, I've been living off of my music, just because I didn't want to do anything else. I've dated bad girls. Bad girls are like, when are you gonna get a real job? The fuck you mean? I just paid for vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when are you gonna start rapping?
Yeah, exactly. You working on those bars or what, bitch?
Yeah. So it's like people are always gonna try to get in the way of your dreams. There's gonna be people to say you're stupid, you're not gonna make it, or you don't have the right look, you don't have the right sound, or you should get a job and make that your priority and do this on the side. And I've always chose this, and it's either fuck things up for me, and when I got it all back, it was better, or just made me realize that I shouldn't even have things to fuck up. This is either do or die. You know what I mean? I think having a backup plan is just when you can't do what you do anymore, when you just don't like it anymore. I love it, man. I like going on tour. I like meeting fans. I like partying. You know what I mean? Like, I actually had to stop partying recently because, you know, I'm a dad, you know, but like, fuck, I miss it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I like all the stuff that came with it. You know, when I was first started making music, I wasn't worried about money. The money wasn't really important. It was just that I wanted to go fuck chicks. I wanted to go hang out with famous people. I wanted to go and get free shit because of who I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's all the stuff that I have been doing. So now the money is important because I'm getting older, and like you said, there is no plan B at the moment.
Right, and why not? You have something to build them for a future, not just for yourself, but for little Mars there, our homie.
Yeah, man. You know, the thing about being a father is that you got to sometimes take a step back and realize that it's not all about you no more. You know what I mean? It's about him. Look at this kid right here.
Here he is.
You know what I mean? Come here, Gavin. Say what's up.
What's up?
That's my little boy right there. Out here in Frisco, me and Kevin Gill chilling on the Kevin Gill Show. You could ask him questions. He's funny as hell.
Hey, Gavin, do you ever watch professional wrestling? You down with WWE?
No.
What's your favorite stuff?
Football.
Football, huh? Yeah, you gotta speak up, son. This is podcasting, dog.
We just put him on the spot.
Yeah, we put him on Mega Blast.
He's like, fuck, man, I just came over to see what you guys were doing.
He's like, everyone was so cool to me earlier, now they're putting me on blast.
But anyways, yeah, man, just having somebody that you could mold into somebody cool as shit is the best thing as being a father.
And that was like a big change for you. I know this year, like you said, you alluded to kind of taking a step back from everything else, kind of putting partying on the shelf, and then and becoming like a full-time dad and focusing on that side of things, while kind of then relaunching a new kind of master plan for 2015 and 2016.
Well,
and
putting
beyond.
the partying on the shelf is actually a new thing. Because I partied my fucking ass off for like 10 months, to where, like I was like, I recently, was in a relationship that just didn't work out anymore. So I stepped away from that, and I went in seclusion, man. I was just wanted to heal, you know what I mean? Wanted to get my mind straight,
Get your mojo.
yeah, and it didn't happen right away. So my healing was just drinking and
Substance-related healing?
yeah, just going crazy, just having fun, hanging out with chicks, partying with all these young dudes over here. You know what I mean? Because they always had chicks over and alcohol,
And extra chicks.
party favors and whatnot. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna just go hang out with these guys and just partying my ass off. You know what I mean? And then partying my ass off got me in trouble. So like, you know, I had to step back and realize that I can't be doing that shit no more. You know what I mean? At least not as much.
Right.
So, yeah, and he knows already. So, I think it got to the point where I wanted to get away from just feeling like shit and start feeling good again about my music and getting out there. Just not worrying about normal people stuff. Normal people stuff sucks. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the burden of life. That's like the epic staleness is all the regular shit that everyone has to deal with or whatever. But it's when you can forget all that shit, whether it's as a performer, whether it's as a listener, whether it's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you could lose yourself in the moment, to quote your boy and sometimes fist-fighting rival Eminem.
Yeah, I think once you realize that mostly shit that normal people care about don't matter in the end, that you're free to do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm able to just go do music just like I did before everything. You know what I mean? Like music will always be here. And I think I curse myself because I always tell girls, like when we get in an argument, like music was here before you and it'll be here after you. And it always bites me in the ass. Because I'll be like, come on, baby, just come back home. You're
They're like, why don't you come back to music?
yeah, well,
motherfucker?
music was here before me, and now it's going to be there after me, right? I'm like, yeah. You know, fuck, I should never say that.
Dave, you have to kayfabe that one for future use.
Yeah, no more of that shit.
And, you know, touching on the highs and lows and stuff, you know, because then what the other side of being a DIY artist is when it's when it's you're making your own moves and building your own empires and stuff, sometimes big things happen instantly and you see a big jump, and other times it's like when you're so involved in it, you can't even see the day-to-day growth. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to step back. And, you know, when it's just you, it's yourself, it's your future, it's your longevity on the line. And, you know, it can be such a mental battle sometimes for everyone. I think anyone who's, especially when your art is, you know what I mean? It's something you create and put out to the world, and then some people like it, some people don't like it, some people say terrible things, some people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to have thick skin, man. You got to have thick skin, and to me, it's like you either have to have thick skin or just brush shit off, or know that it's such a small circle of a genre that you're going to see whoever talks shit one day. You know what I mean? So you just have to have a good memory and just brush all this shit off at the time. But like you said, like, I don't have an analyst that goes, your numbers are going down from here to there. But I think because of the way the dedication and the rejuvenation of our fan base and market, because it's generally between like 13 and 25 years old, I believe. Like, that comes full circle. Like, the 25-year-olds will grow up and listen to Mad Child after this, or they'll listen to something more, I would say, quote-unquote, mature, where it's still dark, but we're not talking about all the dumb shit that everybody likes, you know what I mean? So it's like, so I was going to say, it's like, I get to see, like I said, it took 10 months off, and I'm like, fuck, like, that's a long time on the internet, you know?
Right, in a world of Instagram, so to speak.
where everything, you're getting instant information. If you disappeared for 10 months, people are like, where the fuck did he go? Or who again? You know what I mean? So,
but that can be a cool thing, too, because in a world of constant bombardment where even your boy KG is well aware of your desire for chicken and waffles, that sometimes then being away for a minute, then it's you step back in the frame refreshed, you know?
Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll pretty much see that something was going on. You know what I mean? Like, look at his fucking eyes. He's terrible looking right now. And they're like, wow, he's fucking skinny now. Like, what did he do?
Because you went through, like, different stages. Like, at first you were, like, on the, like, here, all right, I got a new attitude. I'm going to, like, train all the time. And it would be, like, the workout updates, like, at the gym, running, doing this.
I still do that, but
running. But then it would start to, a little bit. Like, all right, I've been working out constantly for 3 weeks. I'm going to go out.
Drink my fucking ass off now. I was starting to think, too, like, if I didn't drink as much as I did, I'd probably be way more fit, but I'd be, like, go to the gym and work out, lift weights, eat right, and then I'd go home and slam a bottle of Jack Daniels afterwards, like, every night, you know? And I was like, somebody was like, so how did you lose all that weight? And I was like, dude, I was just didn't sleep and smoked cigarettes and drank bottles of Jack Daniels and then jogged. They're like, dude, you should make your own fucking workout video. That's fucking awesome.
It sounds like the Charlie Sheen workout play.
Yeah, how did he lose all of his weight? Yeah, there's a little bit Charlie Sheen stuff in there a little bit too, but yeah, you know, if you look at my social media, you can see, like, I don't try to hide the way I'll either look like shit, or you'll see me with a half-naked chick on there, and you know, okay, he's getting back in the swing of things.
Right.
Or then you're like, wow, this guy's just doing way too much right now, you know? And I look at it and I'm just like, damn, you can see this, my highs and lows here. And now it's just like, you know what? I look at it today and I'm just like, it's just all personal stuff right now. You got to see me go through my emotions, and now today you'll see me and KG on my Instagram putting in work. You know what I mean? I'm back in the swing of things again.
Absolutely. Now, one of the themes of the Kevin Gill Show, of course, the Kevin Gill Show is your PMA Power Hour, and PMA is one of the topics that comes up about 99.8% of the time. I'm curious if you feel like, you know, these highs and these lows and this other stuff that goes with it, do you feel that positive mental attitude has played any part in your success and in your current trajectory?
I would say, in a way, like, I think with me, it's like when I think positive and I think, like, you know, they say happiness comes within, you know, or comes from within. And I think the more I stay positive about what I do, the less I start thinking about other shit. And I see that, like, just to have a plan, you know what I mean, and believe in that plan and stick with it is knowing that it's going to work because you're sticking with it and you have good hopes for it. But then sometimes you try to have a positive mental attitude about something and shit goes wrong, and you're just like, well, fuck, that didn't work. You know what I mean?
It's still wrong.
Yeah. So, like, maybe you're just thinking of the wrong things to be positive about. I don't know, but I think just staying positive and putting on a fake smile until it becomes a real smile, I think that has a lot to do with it. When you wake up in the morning, how you feel
It does really dictate your day, man.
If you think about all the bad shit that's going to happen that day, or all the shit that plagues you that day, or you can just think like, you know what, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go lift weights, and I'm going to go I'm going to go have a good dinner, I'm going to go hang out with this person, and just having tasks every day and feeling good about Xing those tasks off your to-do list every day, that to me helps, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But then sometimes you could have a positive mental attitude, and then something will just fuck your whole shit off. You know what I mean? And it's hard to be positive when you're in a bad mood.
Oh, for sure.
You know
and then we live in a world, too, where we're just constantly bombarded with every day, usually multiple times a day, just like horrors and unspeakable atrocities and all this terrible shit. Somewhere, something absolutely horrible is happening, and the news is going to have like extreme close-up footage of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of it's just like fear. It's like a whole weird thing. Like it's to occupy everyone's mind, and it's all this shit, you know what I mean? Instead of doing the stuff that they should be doing, like, I'm going to have a good meal today, I'm going to go to the gym. Like, make your own reality, because the reality that you're going to see on the news isn't, there's nothing gained but fear and unhappiness. There's never, and you know what, tonight, it's been a pretty good day, actually. It's always just terrible, terrible things, man.
Yeah, like shooting,
and somehow the
bombings.
promoting of the people who do it just makes more people do it. If we look at it this way, Mars, in our lifetime, we've seen, or in beyond our lifetimes, but in this last 100 years, we've seen everything from comic books, Elvis Presley comic books, heavy metal, video games, horrorcore music, Tupac. All these things have been blamed for shootings and murders and incidents and all these things.
Yeah.
But there's never been a single heavy metal. You know what I'm saying? There's never been a single thread to ever tie any of this shit together in any real way. But what the fuck? I wish someone would look at the goddamn news media and what they put out there, and this culture of making celebrities of both people that do nothing and people that commit horrible crimes. Don't show their names. Don't put their Facebook over. That's what they want.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because it makes for a great story where people are going to want to hear all about it. And then, you add a comic book in there or some music to it. It's they could hold on to that story a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just entertainment, like I said.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. The news won't rap about murders and rapes and robberies, but they'll show graphic images of the crime scenes where they're out here like us with microphones in front of the place, and they could easily imprint the same things in people's minds as they blame the music doing.
100%, and it's an instant celebrity. Like, in other words, there's not many things you can do that you can just be like, I'm going to do this right now, and I'm going to be for a day or for a week in my area or nationally, I'm going to be famous for some terrible thing. I think a lot of people desire fame for whatever reason.
At any cost.
At any cost, right. And then they go out and do something horrible, and it's like, but I feel like if there was ever an honest study done, I bet they could easily get a correlation between the media's glorification of these people and the constant turnover of new people ready to do it. Because, in other words, what else can you do? They're not going to wait online all day to wait for the American Idol auditions to come to their town, bust a few bars or whatever, wait 4 months for them to edit the tryout tapes and see if they make the show. You know what I mean? Or make a funny internet video. They're just going to do something horrible.
Somebody could easily just go to the long American Idol line and just kill everybody and then just be like, I'm on TV anyways, and I can't sing for shit.
Sing their hook while they're doing it.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, any one of us have the potential to be famous somehow right now by just doing something stupid. It's a lot easier to do that than to have some type of talent.
Or to create something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of creating stuff, we talked about kind of taking a 10-month break from music. You have a long discography of music that goes back to 1998, is I believe when the first release came on the map. I believe almost every one of those releases, give or take, is all available digitally now. You've reissued everything. It's all out there, right?
Yeah.
And where is that? Where can people grab that?
I got a distribution deal with Empire Distribution, which is actually located here in San Francisco. You can get all my music off of iTunes, Spotify, Beats Music, Rhapsody, all the stuff out there. You know what I mean? It's pretty much available on Amazon, MP3, and whatever you can get digital music, it's on there,
Now, before we jump ahead to the new stuff, if with a deep catalog like yours, to the listener of the Kevin Gill Show who's never heard Mars's music before, what's the first track? Like, what's the introductory track if someone's going to sample Mars for the first time?
Oh man, it depends if you're weird or not. I think there's a couple of them. Like a lot of people like "Shooting Spree," which is the song where I kind of mock my controversy with the school shootings and stuff like that. I personally like "Stalking You" a lot, but that's just all more fun stuff like that. I think my favorite one, my most personal songs, are songs like "Smile for Me" off the Zodiac mixtape, which is like more personal, more me in my music, or "Leave You," which is both fantasy and horrorcore-ish, but with the Bay Area vibe. I've never really tried to be a dark artist. I've tried to make Bay Area music and just be weird.
Right. Yeah, keep that long tradition alive. The Bay Area has a long tradition of innovative and outside the box musicians. You know what I mean?
Yeah, San Francisco had a lot to do with my music. Like my first studio I've ever recorded at was here. My first producers that I grew up listening to that I worked with was here. So like I stay true to my roots. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, you're a Bay Area artist or you're a horrorcore artist." I would say I'm a Bay Area artist that happens to make weird music sometimes. You know, so if it's the first time you're listening to my music, you may get a piece of me, or you just might get a crazy bunch of shit. I don't know. Depends on what you listen to. But I would say go listen to that Zodiac mixtape before anything.
And talking about new shit, exclusive new shit, you happen to have on deck, if I am not mistaken, a groundbreaking collaboration, which features, of course, not just you, because if it did, then it wouldn't technically be a collaboration, but it also includes two, I would say, more than fairly well-known names. I'd say beyond household names in the underground and beyond. You've got a white-hot collaboration with Tech Nine and motherfucking Twisted. What's up with that, homie?
Shit, so I'm getting Twisted and Tech Nine on this song with a girl. Speaking of American Idol, I have a girl that's on American Idol on the song with us, doing the harmonies and stuff like that. I'm actually recording my parts this week. It comes out this fall. It's called Creatures of the Night, and it features Tech Nine and Twisted, man. And it's I'm working with a well-known clothing company who's going to help me put it out.
Really? How well-known are they?
Well, if you're a fan of Twisted, you've seen them. You know what I mean? If you're a fan of me, you've seen them. I'm working with Mishka out of Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, shit.
And we're talking about them putting out the physical copies. And then, of course, you could be able to get it all on iTunes and Beats Music and all that shit. You know what I mean? So it's going to be real big, man. And I think I waited so long to put this record out. But Tech, man, like I've had this verse for a while, and I wanted to make sure I could keep up with Tech. Then I got Twisted on it, and I was going to make sure I could complement both verses.
Sure.
So I waited until I was in the right mood, and this is the right timing because I needed to have something that's going to come out, and people are going to be knowing that I don't stop making big moves. I don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't, like if I'm coming out, you're taking fucking notice when I step back on stage or I step back in the light. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure this is the song that put me back out there first.
That's hot, man. Yeah, and it's amazing to think about. Look at how Tech Nine has grown. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal to a lot of people. They just discovered him, you know what I mean, in the last several years, you know what I mean? But to people like us who've watched this rise through the underground to where he is today, it's fucking mind-blowing, man.
He's one of my favorite artists because, like, I've known him a long time. I think I first met him in 2006, 2007, right around the time when my son was born. And I went backstage, and I seen him, and I handed him my business card, and then he looked at me, and he's like, "Some Girls Deserve to Die," which was the name of my album that was coming out on Black Market Records at the time. So he already knew who I was, and I was such a fan of him from like Mitch Bade and Absolute Power back then.
Sure.
I was super stoked that he paid attention to stuff like that, and he was such a cool artist. I kicked it back there. I was just gonna say hi and just like
sure, bounce.
Introduce myself and shit. I went back there, just hung out with all of his girls and there's everybody. I got introduced to my son's godmother at that show. You know what I mean? But he's never not been humble. You know what I mean? Like you see him, like I still see him backstage, like at the gathering. I'll see him from across the fucking mud, and he'll be like, "Yeah," and he'll throw up the horns at me, and "What's up, boys?" And like no matter how big he is, everybody knows who he is, and he's selling out everything.
And he's still he's very personable. Like a little known KG fact is that I had the unique distinction of I made Tech Nine a playable character in a video game back in the day for IDOS Interactive called 25 to Life. You could unlock Tech Nine and play as him, and he had a couple of songs in the game too. And I just met him through that, and and he's always been. So anyway, that's just like a funny little footnote that was like 2005, maybe.
That was
like
mine and your first introduction too.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure if you were contacting me about Backyard Wrestling or about 25 to Life.
About 25 to Life.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think was more my style, anyways. You know what I mean? But
there was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because Backyard ended up with. I'm pretty sure Tech 9 was on Backyard Wrestling too. I could be wrong about that.
You know what was cool is that at first it was such a it was a new project, and I think you had a bunch of underground artists, and then all of a sudden like the big dogs stepped up, and it was like everybody else was like wah wah wah, and I understand that, and I was like, damn, like Nas replaced everybody else, or
it was like Tupac, DMX, Public Enemy.
Yeah,
and there was, but a lot of great music. Just getting that Tupac joint was like what? And some of the hurdles we had to go through, and with our partners, to get some of those songs cleared and all that. The Tupac song, I forget now which one it was, but the only way we were able to get it, especially in a violent video game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I may use the term violent video game,
those are my favorite kind.
Was that his? The person who it was Tupac featuring so and so was real close to Tupac's mom and was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I got this opportunity for this track, and she was down with it. So, but that was just a funny. Sorry to hijack with my Tupac discussion, but I like to pepper in little video game facts here and there.
No, man, like that's what me and this kid here do all day. Is like we play Saints Row, we play Grand Theft Auto, Skate. What's Call of Duty, but of course, look at how old he is. Can you guess what his favorite video game is?
Well, it's not Grand Theft Auto?
No, I mean, I wish it was.
Oh, it's Minecraft.
Of course.
He's the demographic. Or he's a huge part of the demographic.
Yeah. So
I don't understand Minecraft myself. I mean, I understand, you know what I'm saying? But to me, I'm like...
It's like having an unlimited amount of Legos.
Right.
But that's not even, like, it's cool that he likes the video game, but he watches all the vlogs.
Sure, like the developer diaries as they used to.
No, he'll watch, like, Stampy Longnose and all these people that are making decent money by just playing the game, and kids watch them play.
I know, that's a mind-blowing.
And I was like, shit, if I would have known that, I would have been playing Grand Theft Auto all day with a camera on me.
Right? I would have, yeah. I think about that shit sometimes, because sometimes I'll see, like, someone makes a video of themselves playing Call of Duty, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just play Call of Duty yourself? Like, the idea of watching someone
That's exactly the questions that I have for him.
You know what?
So you're watching this guy play all day with an annoying English accent. Why don't you just play? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, no, they're teaching me, like, how to do this and how to do that, or I'm learning new things, and, like, so he gets it.
And I get it with, sometimes, at certain games, you know what I mean? You'll have to go to GameFAQs or whatever, the IGN or wherever, to get, I'll watch a little walkthrough section for a few minutes to be like, how the fuck do I unlock this stupid door or whatever?
Yeah.
But that's it. The idea of watching, it's like, how about this? I want to watch you watch baseball.
Yeah.
How about this? I'll do this one right now. Watch me watch wrestling. Can I make a new category? But I guess it's always video games pays more.
You could do commentary, I guess, would be funny. But yeah. I don't get that. I guess it's like kind of watching porn.
It's very it's voyeuristic, but again, the numbers don't lie. It's so popular, but again, it's one of those things that I can't hate on the future and what people like. But in other words, all I can say is, for me, I don't have enough hours in the day to do a fraction of the things I want, and I would have to be in a strange state to find the time to watch someone play video games via Skype with bad sound and them constantly mouthing off or whatever.
Yeah. Like, I just like to go on there with the headset and talk shit and kill people, and that's.
Do you play on PS4?
I play on PS3 just because I haven't really. There's not any titles that I really like on PS4 right now that I wanted to go out.
Those mandatory titles.
Yeah, that you have to go get. You know what I mean? Except for Grand Theft Auto 5 is more amazing on the 4.
Sure.
Just because, like, the sheen of the water when it rains and, like, just the little differences. You know what I mean? But,
and how cool is that there's a Juggalo with Shaggy Two Dopes, like, Wraith era face paint? As a featured character in the game.
I thought that was dope.
I feel like if I can, to me, in other words, those Rockstar guys all first heard ICP through me. I would constantly play their music at the office. I would show them their videos. We watched Stranglemania together with Dan Houser, who writes all the games, and Sam Houser, who started Rockstar. They heard much more ICP than they ever wanted to from me. But it's funny to then see that culture, the Juggalo culture, made such an impression on them that all these years later, after I didn't work there anymore, they still included.
I always figured that you had a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? I figured that you're like, it's probably a good idea to get the subculture in there.
Why not? You know what I mean? But in other words, all I did was just put over ICP to those guys endlessly. You know what I mean? Because I was fascinated at that exact time too. That was right around the time that I got fascinated with ICP. It was right around the end of the record label days and going into working at Rockstar. So they would have been in the ECW video game if I ended up making it at Rockstar. But we ended up turning it into Backyard Wrestling and putting it out at IDOS. But now, what's next for you, Mars? So here we're in the fall of 2015. We got that new single with Tech Nine and Twisted coming. What's your plans beyond that, man? And where can people get more Mars? And is there anything you want to say on the outro?
Well, I would say after the single, I plan on going on tour steadily. You know what I mean? I want to drop a bunch of more singles or albums and stuff like that. I was working on a mixtape that was pretty much 99% complete that I still want to hold off on because I have a lot more things to talk about. So I would say it went from 99% complete to about 50%.
Okay.
There's a lot of shit that's changed and I've went through since then. I have a lot more stuff to say, a lot more people to talk shit about, a lot more people I want to kill.
Specifically or metaphorically?
Probably a little bit of both, but you'll see. But yeah, working on more music, but I definitely want to hit the road. Like, it's been too long. Like, the last show I did was in Greeley, Colorado, and it was so packed, and it was like I killed it so much that I've still been on that high of doing that show. You know what I mean? So like, I want to come back out and just keep performing and keep seeing cool shit on the road and being with cool people. I like touring because you get to be with people that you may not know, that end up becoming lifelong homies, and you meet girls and fans and eat good food, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's a lot easier to pick up a girl when everybody's there to see you, you know what I mean?
It does make it, I guess, slightly easier.
Yeah, so you don't have to introduce yourself. You're just like, hey, you want to fuck? Or
I'm the guy on the poster. How you doing?
Yeah, that's me right there.
You just stand next to the poster with the same hookup and pose that you have in the poster and just wait for people to walk by.
Yeah, free drinks are always nice. But yeah,
social
man,
lubricant.
More music, more alcohol. I guess, I don't know. We'll see how that works. This guy, he'll probably tell you no. But and then yeah, man, I just keep planning on this being in the game and taking things to new heights and new levels. I've learned a lot in the past couple of months about myself, and I think the more I don't record, the better I get.
Right,
for some reason. I don't know why. Like, the song the verse I wrote for this single coming out, I haven't wrote a song for almost a year. It came out, banged it out in 15 minutes, killed it, you know what I mean? So I plan on keep killing it, man, and I hope everybody checks me out on Instagram at Mars, Twitter at Mars, Vine at Mars. You can check my son out at Real Brother G on Instagram, you know what I mean? But I'm kicking it here with KG on the Kevin Gill Show.
I don't know if you know, I happen to be wearing the shirt right now, but if you know about UGWA, which is this crazy shit going down in San Jose, California, a bunch of juggalos and other folks got together, this like off the hook, it's called the Underground Wrestling Alliance, and they have this dope venue, the Ritz nightclub in San Jose, so it's like a nice spot and lighting, sound, all that. And they do these off-the-chain fucking wrestling shows. You know what I mean? Like 21 and over only, full bar, KG on the commentary over the PA, a la Juggalo Championship Wrestling, minus Jay and Shags, my brothers, of course. And but they also have musical guests as well. And I'm just throwing it out there. It might be an awesome little jump off for you know what I'm saying, for some possible Bay Area collabos and some show rocking.
Gotta get me and Kung Fu Vampire up there, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Kung Fu Vampire already goes to some of their shows.
Oh, nice.
So I think it's good. I think it's a short, probably a short leap to the stage. But yeah, I just was thinking about it because I always think of, for anything in the Bay, I always think about you guys. And then I saw like Kung Fu's playing some like some crazy festival in San Jose or something. But of course, it's like the one of the 3 days in the month of September that I'm going to be out of town.
Nice, yeah. I want to go check more things. Like again, I just want to hit more events, more performances, more just festivals and cons and whatnot, you know. So definitely, man, I definitely want to check everything out. Shout out to Kung Fu Vampire. Shout out to Kosher, Daniel Jordan, Mr. Gray, J Riz, Zachy H, Real Brother G, a.k.a. Baby Mars. You know what I mean? We out here doing it.
And what about, what? Give us a website for Man Insanity and give us your social media plugs. Brother, on the way out. Thanks again for your time, brother. It's been cool to sit here on a Friday afternoon in the park, chilling with the family, chilling with the homies.
Hell yeah.
Bringing some of that East Bay, to the SF proper.
Yeah, we in the FCFC right now. Here on the Kevin Gill Show, you can check me out at Mars on Instagram, at Mars on Twitter, at Mars on Vine. Pretty much at Mars on everything, you know what I mean? Or just Wikipedia me, man. You know what I mean? I'm on there.
That's what's up, homie. Well, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being on the Kevin Gill Show. And thanks for representing Horrorcore to the Bay and to the world.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. And that's how it went down with Mars at the park with your boy KG, sitting in on parts of the interview. Real Brother G from Instagram, a.k.a. Gavin, a.k.a. Baby Mars. And I wanted to send a huge shout out to him, one of the more charismatic, more styling, and more talented young G's that I've seen in quite some time. This kid is a second-generation star on his way to things. So on Instagram, follow at, or not at, you know how it goes, whatever, Instagram, Real Brother G, and that's BROTHAG. So that's what's up. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Mars. That's some pretty exciting information about Mars dropping that new record, man. That's an exclusive factoid right there. A new record with Tech Nine, and Twisted. Shit. And putting it out on that dope-ass label, you know what I mean? That's a pretty much a power move right there, Mars. That maybe was worth sitting back in the cut for several months while you reformulated and recalibrated the Mars machine. So we wish Mars the best, and I hope his new single and everything else he does brings him a lot of success. And I thank you for tuning in and listening to the Kevin Gill Show. One of the funnest things I think you could do is peep out KevinGillShow.com and look at some of the guests that you're not familiar with. Look at someone and be like, I don't know who this is. I'm not familiar with wrestling, or I don't know this type of music, or I don't know this comedian, I don't know this video game creator, etc. Check out one of those interviews, man, and prepare to have your mind blown. We always try to make the Kevin Gill Show about it's interesting people, interesting stories, you know what I mean? So if you're a fan of them, that's great. But if you're not a fan of them, it's still interesting people dropping a lot of knowledge and a lot of inspiring and positive thought. And that's what we're all about here on the Kevin Gill Show. Positive mental attitude is my latitude, you know what I mean? And on top of that, my attitude is also 50% gratitude. It's a hybrid. It's something new I'm working on. It's called riffing and cutting promos on myself in the closet. But I digress, because I am standing in a closed closet right now. It's a pretty big closet, you know what I mean? But it just sounds so sweet. That's where I record these audio treats right here for you every week. KevinGillShow.com, on and on, SoundCloud, all that stuff. You might be asking, KG, with this much flavor going on, you can't just be staying home. And yes, that is true. I am not. So I invite you to come catch me, holler at me on October 10th, which is a Saturday, San Jose, California, at the Ritz for the Underground Wrestling Alliance. UGWA. Hail UGWA is the hashtag, and UGWA is a party, man. You want to be there, 21 and over only, and holler at your boy. Tell him KG sent you. I'll see you there. I'll be doing live commentary over the PA system. Definitely a lot of loose, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. It's and those guys go hard in the ring. So I'll see you there. Then Saturday, October 24th at Ingrid B. Lacey School Gym in Pacifica, California. It's Gold Rush Pro Wrestling's The Third Golden Rule. And what a great show that's going to be. It features J.R. Kratos, the champion, taking on the king of the gold mine, Dylan Drake, inside of a 15-foot-high steel cage. We've also got the bad boy Boyce LeGrand defending his Dynamite Division title. The Suburban Commandos taking on the Pacifica Islanders. Cheerleader Melissa taking on the number one contender. Who was that, I wonder? And then the Angel of Flight, Mike Matthews versus Cannonball Virgil Flynn. So much more. Lisa Lace, on and on. Support Gold Rush Pro Wrestling. Like them on Facebook. And, of course, you can also catch KG every other Thursday on The Juggalo Show on psychopathicradio.com. And we'll return on Thursday, September 24th. And you can always peep the back catalog of their episodes at psychopathicradio.com. This past week, we were joined by Violent J and Sugar Slam, and we did an all supernatural episode, all ghosts and spirits, and it was pretty horrifying at times, man. I know that I'm feeble when it comes to horror, so it's no big deal to say that I couldn't watch or listen to parts of it, and I'm on the show. But I saw some listeners, some watchers, you know what I mean, were saying the same thing, so shout out to them and peep that out. And you never know, holler at your favorite podcast. Let them know you want to hear Kevin Gill on there, spreading some PMA, spreading some positive mental attitude, offering witty insight and banter. I could do it all, brothers and sisters. So that's it. That's me. That's your boy KG. That's where I'll be. That's what I'm up to. That's what I'm doing. And I'll continue to grind out these episodes. And now I'm going to continue to grind out clothing into suitcases, getting thoughts together, getting flyers together, making it happen to get this episode out and then start working on next week's episode because I'm without a net. I'm getting on a plane with no interviews and hoping to come back with a few weeks worth of content. So fingers crossed for your boy KG. Thanks so much for listening. It means a lot to have a platform and a place that every week, regardless of who thinks I'm cool or who thinks I suck, whatever, I'm still here, motherfucker. Every week, dropping flavor because this is our little world, man. It's our thing, the Kevin Gill Show. Me to you, us, booyah. I'll see you next week. Holler at your boy. Whoop, whoop. Stay up. Get down. Keep that PMA.